The release of the Lockerbie bomber Abdelbaset Ali Mohammed al-Megrahi in 2009 caused considerable anger in America and the UK. And the news that behind the scenes the then UK government was doing all it could to secure his freedom will further stir up emotions. Megrahi remains the only person to have been convicted of involvement in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie in 1988, an outrage which killed a total of 270 people. Megrahi's freedom was granted by the devolved authorities in Scotland on compassionate grounds, on the basis that he had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Publicly, the government of Prime Minister Gordon Brown in London kept its distance, insisting that any criticism of the release should be directed at the Scottish. But the new review reveals that privately, the policy of the London government had fundamentally changed.
They were doing that for geopolitical, for economic reasons. And yet, a year later, when the Scottish Government, under due process of Scots law, did release Mr Megrahi, then we were roundly attacked by the Labour Party in Scotland, viciously attacked, and Gordon Brown was absolutely silent. I haven't seen a more case of more organised hypocrisy in my political lifetime.
On October the 8th, 2008, the UK Government Minister Bill Rammell met his Libyan counterpart, Abdelbaset al-Obidi. On October the 17th, Mr Rammell followed it up with a letter, and the two men met again on November 17th. On December the 1st, the British ambassador gave further procedural advice to the Libyans. And at a third meeting in February of 2009, Mr Rammell assured the Libyans that the UK did not want Megrahi to die in a British jail. Just 3 months later, the Libyans requested Megrahi's release. On a visit to Washington last July, the British Prime Minister David Cameron admitted that he would have preferred Megrahi to stay in prison. And when Mr Cameron met with the US Secretary of State at a conference in Munich just last weekend, the pair issued a joint statement strongly agreeing that the release of the Lockerbie bomber had been a mistake. But crucially, although the previous UK administration had changed its stance on Libya, the review concludes there was no improper lobbying of the Scottish authorities by London, nor did the oil company BP influence the Megrahi case. It is a small consolation from a very murky affair. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, London.